tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera.
Respect them as a human being. See, my love for my children don't start because I'm their dad.
Amen.
That's not when it starts. My love for my children start when God used me to bring them here.
Come on now.
And so if I don't know the source and my relationship to the source and what he brought through me and my wife, then I don't understand how to treat that life delicately.
Come on, brother. You
Right? And
know
so
you
therefore,
teaching, man.
if I'm not, we back again, brothers. The B2M Crew Podcast. Welcome everybody coming back. We definitely asking you to like, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. We thank you all for riding with us, and we about to give you all another dope episode. So what's going on, brothers?
What up,
What's
though?
up?
Though?
Hey, it's one of those things. We jump right into it. It's like, one of those things. One of the biggest moments when you are a father and you become a father is thinking about what the life is of that child that you and your wife or significant other father is going to be like. And sometimes we compare. We make that comparison about what the life is going to be like or the expectation sort of based on what our experience in life was. And there's always this dynamic where sometimes we see pressure placed on children to live up to the expectations of parents. But the real question that comes to mind when I think about that is not is it okay to have expectations for children, but are those expectations based on that child's individual journey, or are those expectations based on a combination of a parent's unfulfilled dreams and hopes and not parenting the child that they have, but parenting the child that they wish they had? Have you all seen and dealt with situations like that, brothers? You know, it's a mighty thing.
Yeah, for sure. One thing about I would like to say, man, when my son was growing up playing sports and stuff, he played baseball at a very young age. He was playing t-ball. And actually the funny thing was he was like either age like 4 or 5, but actually he was really a natural starting off, man. I remember the coach would not let the kids, the ball set on the tee, pitch the ball to all the kids. And my son would crack it, And I was pretty impressed because his eye coordination, his skill set at that age. And I was like, man, I might have something, right? And I don't know what happened. He stopped playing. I don't know what happened. He stopped playing baseball, right?
Listen, man.
So
you won't play
You're
with
not
him.
gonna
That's
talk
what
about
happened.
Whoa. Now we
got video.
Where's the
tape.
yellow? You know what we need to do?
Evidence.
We need to bring out a football yellow flag right here.
Oh,
And just throw the
Like on
flag.
commercial. Yeah.
Flag on
Or-
the flag.
or-
Flag
or-
on the
or-
program.
Or a hat, and we better just cap. Now that wasn't cap, but I'm gonna throw a flag out because we just had a short where brother was asked his son in the 360 feedback.
Oh, well, I'm getting to that.
Okay,
All right,
all right,
let's-
okay,
let's-
okay,
let's-
all right.
let's let you finish.
Oh,
All right.
for
All right.
sure.
All right.
And he was at that age, he was good. And I was like, wow, man, I think I got something. But he stopped playing baseball and did not pick it back up until 9th grade.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, you cannot do baseball like this,
That is a fact.
These cats at that age, man, they throwing 100 miles per hour, 90, 95, like they got some smoke. Bro, you can't. Dad, I'm gonna make the team. Okay. I didn't know they ain't cut people. You know what I mean? No.
Everybody made the team.
Everybody
Man,
else
you
say
ain't
you
gonna
pay, you make the team.
Okay.
You went to private school. You
Okay.
pay, you make the team.
Hey, man, you're not going to keep talking about my nephew like that.
Hey, man, let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
speak
I
up,
mean, come
nephew.
on.
Let me tell you
Hey,
something.
well, he got a beautiful
when-
ending to it. I'm
When
trying
I
to see where
tell
it's
you,
going.
when I tell you he got out there and he stunk the field up. Yeah, Oh my goodness. Yeah,
So what was you expecting?
him to suck.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So why did you
didn't-
expect
didn't-
that? Oh, you shouldn't have been
Expectations
disappointed.
are lined up.
Yeah.
So then you parented the child you had, didn't you?
No, that's what I'm saying. But his expectations was different.
Okay.
Yeah. His
So you got the flip. Okay.
yeah, his expectations like, yo, he gonna ball out of control. And I'm like,
right.
Hey, so
I'm like, I ain't say nothing. I was like, all right, we'll see. And then when he got out there, we both seen, and
Let me
most,
ask you this: was the gap between him playing so long that you just couldn't bring yourself to just believe in him? Because you just sort of knew the outcome.
it was a lot of things, but
Yeah.
but that's one.
Okay.
Because if he out of all the sports, that one probably would have.
Yeah, baseball is tough to do that with.
But at the same time, like, me as a father, I wasn't out there playing catch with him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We did a couple times, and the ball hit him in the mouth, and he lit up in the neighborhood.
What did you
We
do when the
laugh.
ball hit him in the mouth?
Huh?
What you do when the ball hit him in the mouth?
Man, you supposed to put the glove like that, man. Nah.
Hey, that sound like
Hey,
what's that? Remember
Hey,
that,
Tyreek, I brought my football with me, man.
Hey,
We gonna
look,
throw some football.
you
after
remember
this
the movie Glory?
Yeah.
And they hit my man Snowflake. And Denzel said Ninja should have ducked.
Yeah.
I guess he said he should have put the glove up.
Man, catch the ball, man. Basketball. Oh my goodness, train wreck. Terrible.
He said,
Hey, Joaquin,
Hey.
how we gonna bring this back, man?
Bro.
Hey, yeah,
Well,
man.
How we gonna bring this back to?
No, because I think most parents know that kids stink.
No. Hey, what if he got talent that wasn't developed? We
Man,
all
that's what it
get-
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was undeveloped talent that you dropped the ball on as a father.
Hey,
You supposed to.
hey.
It's your job to when
develop
you
that,
saw
when he showed
him
a gift.
good at 5 years old. That was your responsibility to spend time in that area, especially if he enjoyed that sport. That's when you
I'm not
were
saying
supposed
he
to
enjoyed
dedicate.
it.
Okay,
I say he was good.
when you identified he was good, now in order to cultivate that talent, you have to put him in an environment where it's fun and he enjoys going every day, and then he could have developed into what you initially thought you had. When you first saw him. So, like, that's an example of how parents need to identify the talents and then cultivate and grow them within the kid, and not just be like, it's on you.
Now,
It's on you, and you 5.
No, but one question I got for you though on that, Joaquin, is he said I didn't say he enjoyed it. Do you do that if they don't enjoy it?
No,
Okay.
if they don't enjoy it.
Okay.
But as a parent, it's your job to make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
And what I know as a coach of 20 plus years is that really when the kid is spending time with you, they're going to be having fun. As
No matter
long
what
as
it
you're
is.
not trying to be super coach every time we outside playing catch. That's
I
what
used
you
to-
want to do.
I motivated him, right?
Uh-huh.
I said, man, you a natural.
You good.
I edged him on, but he did. I don't remember him wanting to continue. I'm always there to support him. I ain't telling me he stink why but
Yeah, I got you.
But at the
You
same
weren't
time,
saying that when he was
5.
in
I don't know why you got me bringing y'all here every season.
Now, bro, hold
You
on.
know
Time
you-
out now.
you know you know.
Now, let's not act like
you're not
we
good.
don't know when our children are good. Now. I mean, as coaches and stuff, right? Like that happens. And at 5, you know whether your son, in comparison to the 5-year-olds, but they're gonna develop. But I
Right.
get that he's saying,
I think a big part of it too, though, is your son having interests outside of our interests, and how do you handle that? Because like Dre loved to dance, right? Dre can dance
yeah.
like
Why
you.
didn't you take
And
Dre
so-
to
Hey yo,
Dancing with the Stars and go with him?
hey, we took him to dance competitions. He was on and it was really no dance class I could take him to, right? But we took him. He had a real tap dance class.
It wasn't.
Right.
It
Oh,
wasn't.
how early was that?
They didn't have hip hop dance back
Nah,
then. around that time?
nope. He was
Okay.
really, he was starting to do all of that Chris Brown hip hop dance.
It's kind of like a.
So was it like
It's-
middle
it's
school or
almost
whatever?
like popular stuff now, right?
Yeah.
It's Huh?
Was it like middle school or whatever, or what?
Yeah. And so
Drake been cutting the rug
and
for a
so
minute.
we went to a few competitions, man, and you know, I encouraged. I couldn't.
But did
Hey,
you get
all
caught
I
up
could
in the
teach him was a
dance culture?
two-step.
Did you get in it? Like I'm dance dad.
You know he did.
No.
Dance dad.
You know he did not.
Did you have your shirt
Yeah.
with dance?
But see, that's what I'm saying though.
Dance
but listen,
machine.
Hey,
but
I made a
listen,
shirt
But when
for
it was
him with his
time to
logo on
go,
it. Yeah.
but when it was time for Dre to play football, the car packed up with the cooler.
Oh,
We got the sandwiches. We ready. We ready. The whole family ready. But it was dance. Drake got to go to dance.
yeah.
Hey,
no
I'm just
support.
joking. But look, this is the thing I want to think about with Talik situation. I'm just wondering because we've talked in previous episodes about him not playing a lot of sports
Yeah.
when he was younger, right? And he ran track, but that wasn't his thing. He was
Yeah,
fashion,
he
the
was trying to
hustle,
work.
all of that. Yeah. So I think I wanna give him some space on that because I don't know. For me, that loves sports and play, I know my passion about it. I know that it's on my mind to say, "Oh, look at his hands. Oh, I threw him a ball. Like the first time I threw my oldest son a ball, I was like, oh, here,
Yeah. Right.
here,
Right.
move back,
Yeah.
Move back further.
You put a ball in
throw
the
it in
crib.
the air." So I know all of these different things that you're gonna have to do. You got to throw it high. You got
Yeah.
So I'm in it with you, and so I can bring the joy. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's true.
Can
So-
Tyreek dance? Can he dance like you?
Nah, he can't dance like me. He's developed over the years. He's a decent guy. But
I think we're gonna
I
get a
did
therapy
I
session
did
after this
I did I used to throw the ball in the house.
Okay.
He dropped it like 300 times.
Hold on. Did you put a ball in the crib?
Hey
though?
man, I don't know what this. Hey bro.
I just like if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
Hey,
But no,
I can
listen,
identify
listen. All right,
stuff.
well, all right, I got.
Even though I'm not a sports person,
no, what you
I can
identify. Let me
identify.
tell you what you
I
identify.
can identify some
Let me
stuff.
tell you what you identifying. What you're saying is, I don't see it all right here, right now, and so you don't got it. That's what it sounds like to me, because the kids now that didn't have it at 5 and 6 are some of the best players.
Man,
in the world right now.
I gotta say this. You know,
Yeah.
I coached for
20
over 2
years.
decades, right? And I'm gonna say it again. And for real, those kids that was sitting the bench, them the ones that played in college.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids that was out there being superstars, it didn't always pan out for those guys. And a lot of times it's because they don't put in the work. The kids that's sitting down watching, they put in the work. And so they get better and they want to play and they get better and better and better and they develop. I had a kid on my team. He was a 7th grader. And if anybody out there know him, you'll know him. But he fell down every trip down the floor. Him and my son, they both was just cleaning the floor in 7th grade. You know what I mean? Like they was just falling all over the place, but they was giving great effort. And that kid ended up playing at Duke University.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scholarship player, ended up playing. Shout out to Javin DeLaurier.
Yeah.
And he was phenomenal. You know, but
Wow.
suppose somebody look at him in the 7th grade or 6th grade and say, man, you know, he just don't have the coordination yet. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then, you
Suppose
know,
Talik was his dad.
wouldn't have worked out.
Nah.
It wouldn't have worked out.
Nah.
You know, and so my point is, and we all know, you can never know who the player is that's going to develop
Never.
into that. And every player that's playing professional sports will name the guy who was better than them that didn't make it.
Mhm.
Every single one of those players will do that. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, you kind of alluded to it earlier, the biggest thing children have to overcome is the unlived lives of their parents.
Mhm.
You know, that's the biggest hurdle they got to overcome. I want my son to go play at Alabama. I couldn't play at Alabama, but I want my son to go play. You know, I'm Virginia Union University. That's my spot, but I want my son to play at Alabama. And when he didn't do that, I was really upset. You know, but
Why
I
are we
had
putting
to
so much
understand.
into that though?
That's what
Why,
I'm saying.
why are we so
I can tell you
invested
exactly
in
why.
our joy out of what their life
can-
is supposed to be?
At the time, I did not know. Right
Mhm.
now, I know.
Yeah.
It's all parent ego.
Yeah.
It's all your ego.
Mhm.
You want to be able to stick your chest out and say, "That's my boy out there."
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I was about to
because
say- I
it's,
was about to say, yeah,
it's,
what's that
it's your
about?
world.
It's
It
ego.
ain't nothing but ego.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Is it really?
It's 100% your ego.
What if it's ego? If we let's talk about on the academic side, right?
Yeah,
Why
you
so if
think
I
they make
want my
the
son
bumper
to finish
stickers that say-
college because I didn't,
Why you
is
think
that ego
Hold on
though?
a second.
you
Hold on a
think-
second. Well,
If I want my son to finish college because I didn't complete it, is that ego?
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow, okay,
It is.
that ain't trying to take it to the
No,
next level.
I support what you're saying.
Suppose
If
he don't want to go.
I support what you're saying, if the reaction was as yours was, where it bothered you like that, I don't. That I would attribute to ego. But if we're just kind of okay with the fact that okay, they didn't go to Alabama or whatever, you understand what I'm saying, and you're cool with as long as they're happy and complete with regards to raising, as they say, the whole child, and you know what I'm saying, and they're just
How can we ever know if a child is ever happy when we have already declared our position and our joy about something?
Correct. Exactly. Because
Ask them.
We don't know.
Ask
We
them.
don't. We
They
not getting.
watching
We don't
you.
know if we getting that honest, authentic response or
Because-
their response because they don't want to discipline the man that has meant everything to them in their life. And so you got to be careful.
That's exactly right.
You almost have to delay your opinion about what they're doing so you can hear them. So you can hear them. And
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so,
they know what they
hey,
know.
it's a balance
They know
with all
exactly
that.
what you expect. They know exactly what you expect. Why you think so many kids? I just watched the episode of the Cosby Show when Denise was afraid to come downstairs and tell them that she didn't want to go back to college. She knew what the
Hold up.
expectation was.
we can watch the Cosby Show again.
Oh yeah,
Just checking. I didn't know.
Is
Okay.
it?
Okay.
Hey, look,
They did put it back on TV. They're taking it.
Don't get me talking about cancel culture because I talk about that.
I'm gonna go back
But
to this.
anyway.
Yeah,
we gotta go back.
That's
to
another.
this.
We need,
Yeah,
All right, go
that
ahead.
is a topic we have.
Oh,
another.
yeah.
I'm gonna go. Well, first of all, you was talking about the Little League thing earlier. We all know the Little League superstar.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the guy in high school, right? Everybody
Correct.
know that dude.
Correct.
But I'm gonna
Don't be
defend.
talking about me, bro.
Now I'm gonna talk.
I was a Little League
I'm gonna defend
superstar.
Chill a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because we did grow up in a different time period, right? We grew up free roaming. You
Yeah.
grew up, staying with grandma, mama, daddy, aunt, cousin, this, that, the other in the neighborhood, right? Playing on our own. So you move to a different city.
Right.
You ain't got no cousins around there. You know what I mean? You don't have lifelong friends that you grew up with. So you're not gonna let Tyreek just roam the streets and go from house to house. And these kids don't play like we used to. They
No,
don't
they
ride
definitely don't.
bicycles. They don't run
Yeah.
a pickup game anymore. So when he's in those circumstances, he can develop his baseball skill. He can develop those other skills on his own outside
Absolutely.
of you. And then you can be like, yo, he really do like this. And so then you can like add to it. Then it ain't my thing, but I see that he got a passion for it. But today, what we call the cocoonization of America, everybody stay in the house.
The cocoonization.
The cocoonization.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody got air conditioning, heat, 500 channels, 6 TVs, internet, video games. You don't need to go outside, And so
Yeah.
because you grew up like that,
Right.
but not unintentionally, he didn't grow up like that. And so it's harder for him to develop those things outside of the home and hone them
and
outside of
I
your
think
guy.
And the
things are
single
true.
and only a single kid. I mean,
Yeah, he didn't have a
both
brother.
of them,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
siblings. I mean,
Like
Yeah.
what Joaquin's saying can be true, and what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm
Not
saying?
either or.
Yeah, it's not either or.
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to get back to this bold statement you said to John about graduating college, ego,
Yeah.
and you say, what if he didn't? But what if he did want to go to school? Would that still be ego driven?
Who? The kid?
No,
No.
was. Let me tell you. You remember the playback? The playback is, John said, is it ego if I want him to go to college because I didn't go? And you said yes.
Yes.
That's what Talik's asking about.
Yes. That's
Right.
that's your ego.
So what if he don't want to finish high school? Are you okay with that?
I'm not okay with it because I know what he's up against if he don't finish high school. But if my son came to me,
So you do have standards.
Oh boy,
That-
here we go. This
No, hold on.
It's
There's a
dope.
nuance. We got to get on this right here. I don't see how you can make that argument right there. That college is not worthy
You ain't let
of
me
what he's
finish.
going
I was about to say
You
he
ain't
didn't
let me
finish. I was about to say
finish.
let him
All right,
finish
let me
before you
finish.
go there
All
though. So
If my son come to me talking about he don't want to finish high school, then okay, show me where you gonna live, because you can't stay here if you're not going to high school.
No, that,
All right.
no.
So
okay, finish your thought.
Yeah, no.
They go
Seriously.
against everything that you say.
No, it don't, because I understand that when you quit in high school, you're not 18 yet. When you don't want to go to college, you over 18.
So,
So now you're an adult, and so
so-
you can be responsible for taking care of yourself.
So, well, okay, he turned
So
18
I'm
in
not gonna
February
let
his
you
senior
make
year.
that-
Can
I'm
he
not
quit?
gonna- huh?
He turned 18 his senior year of high school.
Quit and go. Yeah, quit and take care of yourself like a man.
You,
All right,
for
so
42
what-
episodes, you said, I'm not going to send you out here into this rat race of this world without being prepared.
all right, well, real quick. What,
Hold
what,
on, James.
what,
Hold on, James.
what
please.
if he has a relative, auntie, older cousin or something that said, I said, okay, I'll let you. You can come live with me then. Your daddy wants to,
That's
try to
probably
be
what
all
would
that.
happen.
You know what I'm saying, or whatever the
Bro,
case. What would you do
listen,
then? What would
I
you
think
do?
what-
Here's what I'm gonna say. If you make these choices in your life, it's going to be exponentially more difficult to accomplish the goals that you have in life. If you have some goals in life, let me help you, show you how we can get there. Now, if you tell me whatever goal you got don't require you graduating from high school, I want to hear about it. If you tell me whatever goal you got says, oh, I can just go stay at my auntie house and do nothing, well, I want to hear about that. Because if that's what you want to do with your life, I don't suggest it, but it is your life, and I'm not going to participate in you throwing your life away like that. Now, if he is a 14-year-old coder and he done came up with some amazing software and it's going to pay him millions of dollars, and I don't care if you graduate.
I think,
I don't care if you graduate.
Right.
You got a plan now.
Right.
I think my struggle.
You got a
with-
plan now.
I'm with you. I think my struggle is, I think you're placing value on.
Being able to take care
Hold
of
on.
yourself.
No, hold on. You're placing value on the 0 to 18 window.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And
I got,
listen, for me or for many people, I shift, but I don't place less value on the next window. Because I
Agreed.
still got to be that same presence, right? And so
I agree.
This is what I thought you were going to say is when John said, if I tell him I want him to go because I didn't go, is that ego? Yes, I agree with that. Because that's about you.
correct.
You should be wanting him to go for him.
Like in
Do
a
you see-
previous,
do-
like in a
hey, do you
previous
see what I'm
episode
saying?
when he said he
But-
sent Dre to Fishburne because he felt like that's what he needed.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Right.
That's a classic case of parenting, how you felt like you would like to been parenting to, and what not he needed, right? And me
Yeah.
not understanding
Yeah.
what he needs, his needs are different than mine.
Correct.
However, I will still say this. It's nothing wrong with having expectations. It's nothing wrong with you want
I
your
got
children to take
expectations.
it to the next
I
level.
got
But you
expectations.
took it to the next level and said, I didn't go.
Okay, well
So I want you to go. That's about your shit. Excuse me.
okay, all right, well,
You know what I'm
let
saying?
me back it up.
Partly it's about your shit.
No, it's okay though. It is. And so my great grandfather taught himself how to read and write,
Uh-huh.
right? So is he not supposed to expect my grandma to read and write? She went up to school to the 8th grade. My mother barely graduated high school. So I went to college and didn't finish. So what is wrong with me wanting my child to take it to the next level?
It's
Whether
not-
it's
not-
academically, whether it's career-wise, whether it's athletically, what is wrong with wanting them to take it
It's
and exceed any and everything that
Nothing.
I've done?
Let me
I
just
think
say
we got
this.
some
There's
semantic
there's
stuff going
nothing
on.
wrong
Yeah.
with it until they
Yeah.
don't want to do it. And now what's your attitude about it?
But I don't think
As-
that's ego with wanting them to do better than me.
No.
I want them to
no,
do
what
better than me.
becomes ego is your attitude after they let you know they don't want to do it. Now,
That's
if
what I
you got
mentioned
a
earlier.
problem with it,
what I
now
thought I
if you like
Well-
got a problem with it and they got a whole nother plan and another trajectory that they want to take their life on, and you are objecting to that, now
But
that's your ego.
I've never objected to it. I'm saying using the we went from
It's not an
athletics
issue.
to academics.
It's not an issue until you got a bad attitude about them wanting to do something different. Up until that point, it's just expectations, normal. But once they say, you know what, I want to do this,
But
and
I don't
you
think
like,
it's normal before then because when we talking like that, but when we in those moments, man, I listen, man, I sometimes have to pull myself back from knowing the presence I have in my children's life, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is there are times when I want to fall back and defer, and because of their deference to what I mean to them,
Yes.
and that what they don't want to, they know if it ain't even about disappointing me, it's about I want dad to be happy.
Yeah.
Dad has made me happy. So I can make a sacrifice and do what he want because it's gonna make dad happy. Right? And so I've had to pull myself back because I can see them falling back. No. Speak up, though. I mean, I want you to tell me what to do right here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I had a situation. Amir just reminded me of this, man. He actually suggested we do a topic on it. He said, do you think y'all could do a topic on letting children know what you, first he said, think about them and their role and their relationship to you, not just the love part. I said, no, but what, talk to me. He said, you know, me and him had a situation as an adult where we had a disagreement, right? And in that disagreement, it was a moment of emotion that we hadn't had since he might have been 16. But we grown men now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's, 28, he's a professional, still budding young adult, right?
Yeah.
Grown man.
Amir ready to bust your ass now.
I think they know. They know I'm so out of shape that I'm gonna do something dirty. I think it's gonna have to happen, like
Right.
because I can't take the L.
Right.
But
Dirtiest player in the game.
I'm throwing the sand in your eyes. Hold on, son. We gonna make up.
Yo,
We know
wrestling
they
move.
nice.
Yo,
They
wrestling
nicer than
move.
we are. We gotta make up some.
Like a blow dust in his face like a
WWF
boogie.
move or something.
Yo,
Like,
foolish, yo.
But yeah.
But so
he bought it
we
to
had a
attention.
moment, right? And I said, I can't talk to you right now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No, and he got me in him, right? Nah, let's talk. You always told me we gotta be able to communicate.
Uh-huh.
I can't talk to you right. Now I'm mad. Y'all know if I can't talk, I'm mad. Right?
Yeah,
So
I got
man,
You got it.
he was out. I was up at his spot, near his spot, and at his apartment, and I left. I said, we can't. We're gonna have to do this some other time. So he came back to me. We got back up that day and dealt with it. And after we talked about what happened and the miscommunication and the expectation, I said to him, I said, man, listen, man. Talking about this thing that I've been trying to build, with your mom, outside of her, you the first person I should be able to rely on and count on and be able to lean on.
As your firstborn.
My oldest son,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I said, listen, as a man, I got brothers, I got friends, but I need you to be on a team of people that can uphold me when I need it. You understand what I'm saying? I said,
Right.
that's your role. I said, and even though all of you and your brothers, y'all got respect for one another, just understand that I see you different.
Mm.
And I'm proud of you. All these things, right?
Right.
You done great, but this is the next step in our relationship. Since that conversation, and we've had a great relationship before
Yeah,
that,
of course.
but it has exponentially gotten us even closer as father to son. And so the thing is, but he felt it was important that he knew the expectation that I had for his leadership in the family.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I just say that because we're talking about a lot of expectations and letting
Right.
them know. And Joaquin was like, hey, it's good to let them know the expectation, but I could have ruined it if because of what we had the beef about, I let our exchange become more about that than about the healing we ended up going through.
Absolutely.
Because that would have been my ego saying, but nah, you just, you got to step that. But then we don't even get to the other place because that's me parenting the child I wanted.
Yeah.
In that particular incident or whatever.
Right. The child you wish you had. Nah,
Yeah,
the
for
child-
the
think-
particular
not the child
thing
that you
that
had for
happened.
that particular. Right.
I definitely have.
The Boys to Men podcast, or B2M podcast, is about 5 guys who've been friends for over 40 years. Between the 5 of us, we've been married for over 100 combined years. Between the 5 of us, we have 13 children, 12 sons. We discuss in our podcast about our journeys into fatherhood and how we raised our sons to be fine young men. From six-figure earners at LinkedIn to a professional Call of Duty player, college educated entrepreneurs, that's who we are. Our podcast is not a how to do it podcast. It is a podcast about how we did it. Come check us out.
I definitely had expectations for my son to graduate college. You know,
That's not the question.
no, I'm just putting it out there.
I know.
Oh yeah.
But what if he said he didn't want to? How was you going to treat him and respond to him if he said, I don't want to do this? That's the question.
I would have told him he should have told me this before he went to 9th grade.
But he didn't know it then.
Well, hey, the investment is in.
So now he
My
just
ego
gotta do what
my-
you want.
My ego would have been in the way.
Well, that's what we talking about. How not to do that, because that's the kind of stuff that damages kids.
He
It
might
really
would have been.
is.
It might would have
It
been.
really
a damaged
is. And you don't
situation.
want to damage your relationship with your son because of your ego.
I'm just saying. We doing hypothetically,
Yeah, this is
and
hypothetical.
so that's what I'm giving you. Hypothetical.
Well, I have an actual. I mean, most recently with our youngest, K. Moo,
Mm-hmm.
and taking a gap year at the most seemingly inopportune time, close
According
to
to you.
right. According to me, well, according to
According to you.
the norm, bro.
What's normal? How many
It's-
people go to college?
It's typical. Hold on. It's typical that if you're gonna take a gap year, it's done like right after high school. Correct? Typical.
Typically, that's the yeah.
And so that's what I'm considering the norm.
Okay.
So that's more than just myself.
Okay.
And I accredit, you guys to help me through it as well. As definitely my wife. However, the path that I thought would have been good for him for college, they seem to think it was really more than really just out of you've heard us say, whereas it's not what you know, it's kind of like who you know.
Yeah.
That type of thing with regards to success. The path just seemed so ideal and laid out for him that my wife's cousin, architect,
Mm-hmm.
he seemed to have an affinity to architecture. You gone to that, go to school, that's what you're gonna study. Internship can be done with your cousin. There's a path of success, architects, they can make decent money.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, and however, I didn't trip when that didn't happen. And he's, yet and still he did go to school and whatever
you
it
didn't
is.
trip eventually, or you didn't trip at all?
Bro, I didn't well, he didn't know I tripped. If I tripped,
Okay.
and again, he, I believe he probably knew that there was a bit of disappointment. However, I also knew at that age that you kind of have to let them, just be and go as to how they're seeing things and respect that. You know what I mean? So I can't say, I mean, I guess that's my moment that I can identify with this topic of, raising the child you have, not the one you wish you had, so to speak.
So yours is an example of you had the expectation, you had the ego, and then when he was willing to stand by his guns, you fell back and just honored the child that he was.
And right, and he's a type that he would just acquiesce out of that of peace and whatnot. You know what I mean? And it's not as if he was like, no, I just don't want to do, or what have you.
Yeah.
And it was just a surprise, and I think he was a little apprehensive to come to us to say that's what he was gonna do. And it was all around that time of the pandemic. I think just after the pandemic, I believe. So I think that
That's tough, bro.
played a
Yeah.
factor into it and all
Yeah.
as well. And so I took those things into consideration and was like, okay, dude, so what is it you're gonna do?
How you feel
then-
about it now?
Well, he's back for one. He went. I think he started
He's-
back up this
Is
past.
he
Oh,
back on the architecture road?
uh,
He's just
last
back in
fall.
college.
No, not the architecture piece. Just back at finishing his, what he needs to do.
So was
to
you
finish.
upset about the gap year, or you was upset about the not doing the architecture, or he didn't really have a plan?
Well, the
so to speak?
architecture path and whatnot, that was a while. That was a couple
Okay.
years or so ago. it was the gap year piece late in the game. Like, bro, you're almost there. You're almost done. Why? What in the? Anyway, and so that was the somewhat frustrating and disappointing piece about it. However, again, I said, okay, I respect what you want. I said, well, so what's your plan then? What is your plan? Alternative to not going to school, because you're not going to. And again, I give my guy props for this with regards to, well, we did have the attitude even before Wah suggested at least allowing them to, as long as they're working and doing whatever, to stay in the in the house and whatnot. I said, but you're not going to be here just not doing anything. If you're not in school, you're going to be working or doing whatever. So you just can't just chill for a whole year or whatever. So what is your plan? What are you planning to do?
$20 from me every year.
Right.
So is that ego?
Right.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, so what is your plan? He, kind of gave me a bit of a plan, and he ended up trying a little bit of what do they call it? Mixology now, but bartending type situation or what have you. Just a few, and again, I couldn't be mad at him at all because I knew how I was at one point as well.
And that's the reason you apprehensive about the gap year, because you never went back after you made that statement.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You ain't
That's
go back.
the deal.
Let's back us.
All of us.
That's
That's back-
parenting
that's
like
back.
we needed to be parented to.
But look,
That's why I tell my son, you ain't coming home to Thanksgiving. Because them guys who came home every weekend wasn't
But
successful.
why we
as
don't
much.
want them to come home for Thanksgiving?
I just said
He
because
said
when we
until
came up
Thanksgiving.
until Thanksgiving.
Oh,
because
right,
when we came
right,
up, them
right.
cats that came home every weekend wasn't being successful in college.
Yeah.
But
no.
see, look, this is why I think where we need to pull back a little bit and be mindful, because I get it, and I'm not. I definitely want to make clear that I have no problem with a parent having expectations for a child to go to college. My thing is, if you say that to
Right.
them and they know that it's about because of you, then that can cloud their thought about it. That's all
the
I'm saying.
whole point.
But in terms of them knowing, my kids have known since they were 6 years old that I wanted them to go to college. I mean, because we've talked about it. That's what we do.
So we talked about
Right.
standards and expectations. When our child is born, we have standards and expectations. That's why we give them a name.
It's not about that.
I'm
That's
talking
not what he's talking
about
about.
how it plays out.
If you don't give him, what you gonna wait until see his personality then name him? So once you
No,
name him,
that's not what we're talking about. The point is, when they don't do what our expectations are, then how do we respond? That's the whole point of this. When they don't do what we want, we got expectations, we got standards, and now they falling short. What do? That's what this conversation is about. How do we handle it? Not that we got these expectations. We can have the best of expectations, but when they fall short, how is it handled? That's what this is
let me
about.
Give you a,
Okay.
let me give you a quick
Sometimes-
scenario. Let me give you
so
a quick
but
scenario.
we still setting the standard high.
Let me give you a
can set it
scenario.
wherever.
We set the standard, but this is the conversation. Where you want to go to school? I don't know if I want to go to school, or I don't know. Well, you got to get serious about it because time's coming up. I don't know. I mean, I be like, I like computers, whatever. Just say that. And then this is the parent. This ain't you, but I'm just saying this is how it happened. But look, I didn't get an opportunity to go to school. Me and your mama want you to go. That's when we have a problem.
Thank you.
That's when we have a problem instead of working through their thought process
I follow
and
you.
putting our stuff in it. That's what I'm saying. So the expectation is fine. I'm going to bring you back to my expectation all the time, because the expectation is the law upon which I built this family.
Exactly.
I'm going to always bring you back to it, but how
Right.
I get you there, I got to get your feelings and my feelings out of it to skillfully help you see what you need to see.
I can't be a dictator.
I got you.
Yeah.
I see that. I understand that.
I gotta let you know that I'm open to hear your challenge to what your perception of what you think is the right thing to do is,
And
or what I think the right
And
thing
so
to do
that's
is.
how you work
Pause.
through situations, and we know you can handle it on your own by stuff we poured into you. Now is your opportunity to show us.
Because if you
that
don't
you're
do
growing.
it that way, you start to build a gap in your relationship with your kid. Because now they feel like they can't come to you.
That's
Now
a
they
fact.
feel like I ain't no need in talking to him.
I-
'Cause I
well,
already know what
I
he
agree.
got.
Well, let me say it this way. When you say ego, okay, so let's say we use the college example. We use a sports analogy, right?
Mhm.
But what's most important to that is I'm trying to raise a young man that's gonna be able to take care of himself and his family.
Right. So
However,
maybe he got a different plan for taking
right,
care
right.
of
Well,
himself
he gonna
than
know
you do.
that's the number one thing, right? And whether you do it through this way, however, I'm still gonna have the expectation that you participate in sport. I want you to learn an instrument. I want you to go to college. I want to expose you to all of these, and hopefully that you find your gift and your passion.
I'm gonna tell you why that makes it
That's
tough.
what I'm gonna dictate.
I'm gonna tell you why that's a 2023 issue. Really, that's a really important issue because me and Haki were talking about this the other day because I got two scenarios going on in my house. So Jeremiah graduated, a couple years ago from college, 2 or 3 years ago, and just got into his career and immediately started a master's program online. Once he saw his work schedule and what he was gonna be doing, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to school." I didn't say anything to him. When Amir was out, Amir got his master's. He was teaching. He was like, "I really want to go to pursue the film thing." He was like, and the only thing I can do is go get an MFA. I was like, "Hey, it's a perfect time to go do it. You don't have any children. You don't have this. You just save some money. You're at home right now." And so I didn't need, but I'm gonna get to another point about how this stuff happened. Then Haki he's straight entrepreneur. He got the degree, but the degree was in entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
and so we've always said he was a small child, he's never gonna work for anybody. That's just his spirit, right? And so but what he did was he was like, "Man, I see this technology thing happening, man." He was like, "Dad, I don't need really, not that I'm not against college, I got a degree, but that conversation about college, we need to have that now, right? Because now,
Amen.
Dad can tell you how much student loan debt he got. Absolutely, right?
Thanks,
Right.
Joe Biden.
And helping to, he can't even help me. He can't even help me. But look, and, to help put my children through, right? And so I get it. The conversation about the debt and the expense of a college, and really, if you want to go to college, the best pathway is to go to community college and stay at home your first 2 years and then transfer.
Absolutely.
Right? Economically, you're cutting your expenses down
big time.
tremendously, exponentially. So economically, and even with the way technology is now, I say all of that to say, he's like, I'm going to get this digital marketing certificate.
Yeah.
Because I could go make money off of this. Like, I could parlay that next week.
Right.
I mean, right?
So whether
And
it's digital marketing, IT
so
specialist,
now
whatever.
the young people got so many avenues that college isn't as attractive. Because and in many ways, I get it. You got to have that tool. That's why I got it. That's why I went to higher ed. That's why I'm still in it, to get the tool, to use it as a resource. But I have less faith in that being the best way anymore, considering the type of society we live in. Now, do I want you to go get educated and become a wise man? Absolutely. But in terms of the pathway to get to some different places, we got to be open these days.
Bro, that's
number one.
And
That's what
that
I'm
really
saying.
wasn't
Yeah.
even mine. I wasn't even tripping if Kate Moore decided that he didn't want to go to school. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you're bright enough, and if you do, you could do it on your own ticket as an academic scholarship or whatever. You know what I mean? If you put the work in and try to make it happen that way.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really pressed. However, and it sounds a little contradictory, I was only bothered that he was right there at the finish line. It was just like, let me take a break.
And that's true. And because it was the finish line, and like Joaquin said, back to what you went through, and you like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Who, for me? No, I only
No,
had a semester.
but I'm
I was
just
about to
saying,
say it's a
what you wanted, you're
semester.
like, he was close. He could have gotten what I
Right.
didn't get or whatever.
Right.
But this is what I was going to say about Amir and Jeremiah going into school without me saying something. And I think this is why we're having some disagreement on this conversation, which is fine. But I think there's more agreement than we think. Because one thing we're talking hypothetical, like we said, right? None of us really had to deal with this. James gave a great example.
I got one.
You got example. No, but what this is what I mean when I say none of us had to deal with. We put a lot of investment on the front end,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of the thinking around what's best for the child and all of that stuff, it was already programming a lot of our children already without us even saying anything. So we weren't going to have to necessarily, because we cared about the front end. The back end is easier because you don't have a lot of convincing to do, because all of the habits that speak to the success you want them to have, they've been practicing for so long, and you ain't the only person telling them they brilliant and should be going to study more and learn more.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. The question is for people that have struggled or failed to put that type of investment in up front, and they don't have a child right now that's in a place where our children may have been and open to hear us because they trusted us and gotten through that process. What do they do when they're the ones that had the big expectations and the investment hasn't been made? What do you do right now to try to get a handle on raising the child that you have versus what you want?
The first thing is we got to stop bringing a 1993 mentality to 2023. You know what I mean? What was good and what worked in 93 does not always necessarily work in 2023. You know, if I would have bought that same mentality when my son Kari came to me and said he want to be a gamer, he would never be playing games right now. Nah, you ain't gonna play no game. Like, to me, that just seems crazy to tell him he can't pursue what it is he wants to pursue. Once I know it's people that's making a living, taking care of themselves doing it. Like, if you can make a living taking care of yourself doing it, and when he decided he wanted to do it, my requirement was, oh, I just need you to make what a school teacher make. Because if you'd have told me you wanted to be that, people like, oh, great job, good job. Well, we know what they make. So you ain't got to make $50 million playing games. If you just make what a school teacher make, you successful, as far as I was concerned. So I had an expectation. Once again, I have coached AAU and basketball for over 20 years. Exactly. And when my son, and I started a team with him and his friends. And at 15, he came to me and was like, I don't want to play no more. I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, Dad, I'm serious about gaming.
Your ego.
And I'm like, son, you're really good. You are really good. This kid is starting and playing and scoring 20-something points and don't even want to play.
Wow.
He don't even want to play. So what, I'm going to keep making him play? And I used to refer to it as he quit. My wife was like, he didn't quit. He finished the season.
Wow.
And he transitioned to something
Because you
else.
said he quit the game. I love
Yeah, he quit. He quit.
So
That's my ego.
real
That's
quick
my ego.
with
Yeah.
what you just shared, and then I think something JG had mentioned earlier too, about I don't know if it was with you, but the child being afraid to kind of approach you, you know, to say, you know, in fear of disappointing you and that sort of thing. Did you have a conversation with Kari early on? Because, and I only say that
Kyrie
because
and
I had already said,
It's Kari.
That's a long story. Actually, it was Kyrie. People
Oh,
just
okay.
started saying Kari. But it
Kari,
was
see,
Kyrie.
Kari, see.
Yeah.
No, anyway.
Yes.
James.
So, but I
As soon
know
as you
I
think you
did
know
have the
somebody.
conversation
Exactly.
with K. Moo at I think it might have been in high school at some point. I'm not sure if it was the latter part of high school or not. To let him know that, son, if I don't want you to ever feel you cannot come to me, you know what I mean? No matter how much you think I may be disappointed, how angry you think I may get, I don't want you to come to, ever feel that you cannot come to me. You know what I
Correct.
mean? I'll be, and I said that, and my wife as well, letting him know. So because we wanted to have a better and greater influence on him than his peers. You know what I mean? And not to say that he couldn't, because of course he would need that, I think, to help him kind of validate certain decisions he might make and that he has in common with his peers. But I always wanted him to be firmly rooted and have a great foundation, as well as, again, knowing, look, we're going to be the best friends you could ever have. And so in that, I wanted him to be able to know and trust that he can confide in us. Did you have that early on where Kari came and said that to you, or it was just innate? It was just natural that he just felt, I don't care, but damn what Dad says.
That's how he was. That's how he was.
I don't care. I just don't want to play ball no more. Whatever.
Yeah, and I expected him to come at me like that because I knew I raised a strong, confident young man. The same young man that had his hair all over his place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can wear your hair all over the place, you can come to me and be like, I don't want to play basketball no more. That's the same strong, confident young man who can preserve his virginity because he's not worried about the peers. You know,
yeah.
with that same mentality. See, it's all connected.
Yeah.
You know, and so I knew he was strong and confident. So I don't think he had any problem coming to me. Just like he ain't had no problem coming to me telling me he wanted to be a
Corey,
gamer.
oh, quiet, oh, shy
Yeah.
dude. I just, and that, I guess that's
But
where
I
some
think it's
confidence lies.
important for parents in
quietness.
those moments that you talking about, Joaquin, when he came to you. We got parents listening. You should never respond immediately.
Can I please say this?
Go ahead.
One of the things that happens, every single one of us sitting up here, our mamas told us we could come to them about anything. Did we do it?
Oh no.
Right. It's a whole lot that's unsaid that doesn't get said that shapes the decisions that your young people make.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop kidding ourselves thinking that they're going to come to us just because we said, son, you can come to me.
Hey, my
That's
mama ain't tell me
garbage.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That's garbage. We know that's not so. So we got to make sure, like I said before, I said it 1,000 times, more things are caught than taught. They watching you. They see how you respond. They see in your facial expressions whether they saying something that's okay or not. They know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, they
So
read
we
you
got to
just like
stop
you read
kidding
them.
ourselves thinking because we told them they can come to us that they actually going to come to
And
us.
see, I'm back on that investment on the love side and the emotion side and the I'm not gonna engage in emotional abuse as a parent side. As a child, see, we can abuse our children emotionally. Those of us who think that we loving our children the best way that's
Manipulating the
possible.
hell out of them.
Oh, and listen, man. And the thing is, if just like with any other human relationship we have, see, when I was in Baltimore teaching at Frederick Douglass High School, man, they had a HBO documentary on the school because it was so rough. It was East Side. It was lean on me. Y'all know the stories, right? but something powerful happened, man, when you looking at serving these populations, man. When they get the understanding, right, that you respect them as a human being. See, my love for my children don't start because I'm their daddy.
Amen.
That's not when it starts. My love for my children start when God used me to bring them here.
Come on now.
And so if I don't know the source and my relationship to the source and what he brought through me and my wife, then I don't understand how to treat that life delicately.
Come on, brother. You
Right? And
know
so
you
therefore,
teaching, man.
if I'm not treating that life like God treated me, would let me make a mistake over and over and was there with patience to love me back. And all of that God does for us over and over. If we ain't got that type of patience, then we're building a child that sees an inconsistent leveraging of love and justice, right? And so that's why I don't have to tell my child or my sons that they can come and talk to me. They just come.
Exactly.
If you got to tell them that, and I'm not saying you in some moment, hey, you can always, if you
Right.
got to say that, listen, I would say that if I saw something happen and they looked afraid to say something to me.
Right.
As a
And
little
that's
child.
what
So you good.
prompted it.
But when we
Yeah.
growing, listen, they gonna come. Cause you know why? Dad been involving me in conversations since I was a child and hearing my voice and hearing my opinion and asking what I think. So I can always tell him what I think. And if we're not giving them the space to tell what they think, then we're creating little slaves to our own understanding of life. And it ain't always perfect,
That's exactly
Facts.
right.
you know.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that. I remember, I got a quick story. I remember one time, my son is a gamer.
Uh-huh.
It's only natural that I have concerns about his mental health and his well-being because of how much time he actually puts into the craft of what he does. I'm always checking on him. Hey, son, how you doing? What's going on? How you doing? I went to him one day and I was like, Kari, man, I said, Darius always comes to me, with whatever he got going. I said, bro, you never come to me about anything. You have never once said, Dad, I got a problem. What do you think? I'm like, man, everybody come to me with their issues.
Yeah.
My own son never comes to me. And he looked up at me, dog, and this is exactly what he said. He said, Dad, I don't have a girlfriend, and I play video games for a living. What problems do I have? That's exactly what he said. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave you alone, bro.
Hey,
I'm going to leave you alone, dog.
yeah.
I ain't got no girlfriend and I play video games for a living.
Yeah.
What problems do I have? I'm like, bro, you right. I'm gonna leave you alone.
I wanna
power
take
went
something
out.
back to
Nah.
I'm
Power
gonna
went
take
out.
something back-
The Wi-Fi's
The
down.
Wi-Fi's
I wanna
down,
put the
Dad.
spotlight
The
on,
Wi-Fi's out.
I'm gonna put the spotlight back on Talik.
Oh
Because
man.
we started off early. We was on him for about a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? But what I want to point out is his embodiment of parenting the child that he had. I think he messed up on the baseball thing. I'm just saying. That's just me.
Yeah.
And I love
Especially with you
baseball.
being a baseball
Yeah,
guy.
I love the baseball.
Hey man, you know what? I
Nah.
take that.
Okay, yeah, it's all good. But no, let me tell you what I did see, and that I do see. Like we ain't filming a podcast in 43 episodes with Win Productions, and Tyreek, his son, is the producer, and is a
Big fact.
budding media mogul with iHeart and all of the stuff he got going on.
Tyreek.
Somebody saw something. Because we know Talik wasn't a media person. we know Talik was not a media person. But what he saw something,
Yeah.
interest, and provided a foundation to bring something into reality that is a powerful resource in business.
Absolutely.
And so that was parenting the child you have when he saw a gift and he fed it.
Big time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big time.
And
So I just
I
wanted to
appreciate
wanted to
that.
point
Yeah,
that out.
man. It's one of those things, man. My son at a very young age always knew and always was focused on his career. So when he tell me what he want to do, I'm supporting that, you know. Now, once he told me he wanted to be a professional baseball
Yeah.
player,
And that
right?
was just the other stuff.
Right.
Baseball, yeah, I got you.
Hockey,
Yeah.
For real?
you know what I'm saying, or lacrosse or whatever, any, you know. And so when he told me this, you know, I made sure I exposed more of what he said he wanted to do, put it more in front of him, you know, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So, you know, so those the things, but you know, I just and I recognize that he was so passionate about when he locked in, he had something special, you know.
Yeah.
And when I seen my son not cheating the process, man, that's one thing that I think my brother and I tried to master is the shortcuts. And one thing I taught him, I say, man, when you going to the top, man, there's no shortcuts, you know. And what I was sharing with him was he wasn't robbing the system. He would put in, you know, 14, 15, 16, 18 hours into his craft on a consistent basis.
Right.
Every day. See him wake up 7 a.m, you know, he'll take a little short, quick cat nap, and then he working 2 a.m, 3 a.m, every day.
Yeah.
And going to school.
Yeah.
Everything he did was this in mind.
Yeah.
And so I knew, like Joaquin said, at 10,000 hours,
You knew to put the time in.
he had put it in.
You know, I think there's a difference between making your kids do something they don't want to do, and when they hit a rough patch in what they said they want to do, helping them get through it. I remember one time, Carr, he played games for a living, so he came to me. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? You know, he came, you know, in the room. I'm like, what's going on, man? You're not, you know, I don't see you spending as much time as you used to. And he was like, yeah, Dad. He was like, this new game that came out. He was like, I don't like the game, and you know, the game stinks and all that stuff. I said, what? I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, you a professional, right? He said, yeah. I said, okay. Amateurs play when they want to. Professionals play when they're told to. I don't want to hear nothing about whether you like the game or not. If this your job, you go in there and you handle your business and you do what you're supposed to do. Now, that is what I see as helping him through a rough patch in him saying he wants to do what he wants to do, and me giving him some perspective about what it means to be a professional and what it means in terms of how you should approach it. Yeah, I know you're playing video games, but you have to approach this with the level of respect of a profession as if you was being a lawyer or a stockbroker or whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it just happens to be gaming that you're doing, but if I don't see the work ethic, the discipline, and the commitment, I don't care what you're doing. It don't matter whether it's games or being a lawyer. It don't matter. You got to put in that work you're talking about and not cut shortcuts and not look for outs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm just trying to help you get through a moment when you're having a moment, because I don't care what you do in life. Everybody has an aspect of their job that they don't like. And the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people do what they don't want to do.
Yes.
That's what successful people do. And so we got to make sure that when he hit that rough patch, which what he didn't want to do is play a game he didn't like. No. You got to push through that.
John,
Yes.
do you see, based on the line of thinking you was pursuing earlier, based on what Joaquin just said, do you see what he was saying as another way to explain your expectation around college and helping your son through a rough patch in his understanding
because-
about the importance of it?
Because I never said I was going to be disappointed in him if he didn't meet this standard, this, that, the other. I was saying that was the standard. He added the disappointment part about it. I never said
I said
it's my
the
ego.
So
Yeah.
if you are uptight when they don't meet your standard, that's when it's ego.
John, I
So-
think the shift was because when Joaquin ended up saying that what he just said, and I think you kept proceeding with that he was calling it. He made a declaration that no, I'm talking about when you don't like the decision. And I think that's the difference because you didn't present it as you not liking it at first. It was just you saying,
Yeah, I didn't
was
present it
just
that way at all.
communicating.
He put that out
I was
there.
just communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been looking at it like this. As parents, right? Went from an infant to teenage years to what have you. We talking about raising the child we have versus the one we wanted, so to speak, right?
Right.
And so we always going to hope and think that they can be the best of us and try to eliminate our foolishness, right?
Mhm.
That's natural. There's no, it's not wrong in doing that, right? And as a parent, guess what? We are nurturer. We play dictator. You know what I mean? We play doctor. We play nurse.
At certain stages,
Yeah,
right? Sure,
all
sure.
of the above, right? And so I'm gonna dictate certain things that you're gonna have to do. At the same time, and doing that, I'm gonna allow you to nurture, and hopefully I can expose you to things to identify your passion and your talent, right? And that's parenting a child and getting to know what he's good at, he or she is good at, has a passion for, has an aptitude for, and then we can develop that, right? But it's still certain things you're gonna dictate and certain things you're gonna nurture, and it's a balance in all of that.
And and it's probably too, I would say, I would add to my opinions to say is also individualized.
Right,
Like I might have a son that need this and the other one don't need that.
Exactly.
One of them might need me to be a little more, this is what we gonna
Stern
do.
on it.
Right.
It just depends.
Let
you
me,
know?
let
Because
me
they got
I
different
gotta
personalities.
say this. I know we almost finished, and this could be another hour, but I have to say this. It's easy for us to say when we haven't been presented with the extreme.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade was presented with the extreme.
Oh my God.
He had a son that now comes to him
Once
at
again,
12
this is the
years
B2M
old.
Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button.
Thank you for
Comment,
watching
we
the show.
really appreciate you.
Repost,
We
share.
at the Code
Yeah.
Building in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm done
In the
for
words
tonight.
of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men.
Peace. We out.
I'ma show 'em how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I finish with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office cause I